All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our June Healthy Habits webinar, your support webinar. This is super fun. We're really glad you can join us. Tonight, we've got three amazing health coaches with more than 20 years of experience combined, coaching people into health and wellness. And so we have Dr. Christiane from Chico, California, joining us, Coach Mikaela O'Brien from Maple Valley, Washington, and myself, I'm Baldwin, and I'm in Redding, California. And tonight we're going to go over your keys for long-term success. And throughout this, you're going to hear a lot of inspirational stories sprinkled throughout. So really excited to get this started. So first, I'm going to read a little quote that we found that we think fits really well with the theme tonight. The key to wellness is to accept personal responsibility for your health and well-being. With that said, Coach Christiane, will you kick us off?
Okay. Sorry, I was, okay. Thank you for joining us, everybody. I am going to first talk about Health University 101. So I would love for you all just to consider the time and effort that you put in to get where you are today. So did you graduate from high school? Did you graduate from college? Did you go to a vocational program? Did you earn a graduate degree? Are you in a special trade? What classes, internship, experiences have you had to get you where you are? In the book, The Outliers, they talk about having your 10,000 hours to be an expert in your field. So for the past 10 years, I have my 10,000 hours in the health, wellness, nutrition arena. And it's all just from learning, listening, and teaching health and wellness. So whether you loved school or you had mixed feelings about school, some people do, now is the time to embrace learning. We all need to be students. We all need to be growing our knowledge in an area that's interesting to us. So right now, a lot of you are on your own personal health journey. Some of you might be considering getting on a healthier path. So whether you're, wherever you are, we want you to always be learning and getting those hours in that you need to master, the health journey. So my challenge to you is each and every week, listen to one Habits of Health call, either, podcast, YouTube recording, whatever, get it in. It's 30 minutes. You can even speed up your podcasts and you can get them down to about 20 minutes if time is an issue. The second thing that you can do or read chapter 1 or read a chapter and do a lesson in the workbook. So again, we want you to always be learning about health and wellness, and it doesn't matter how long you're on your journey. You can always be learning and growing. Think about all the knowledge and insight that you can gain just in 3 months or 6 months of being on that path. My most successful clients, who now at this point are 8 or 9 years out of their initial starting their program and getting healthier, they still tune into the Wednesday night call. It helps them stay accountable, it keeps them learning, and it keeps them connected to our great community. So the second part is change your recipes, change your life. And I have a confession. I love to cook and create in the kitchen, and I always have. And this was a big obstacle for me when I considered getting healthy. Who wants to eat chicken and salad or broccoli and shrimp every day, right? Then I went to my very first Optavia convention, and I learned about this amazing website, and it's called Sandy's Kitchen Adventures. If you've been on our program, you've probably been referred there. There's also a newer thing, which is Optavia's Lean and Green Pinterest page. And I was so thrilled to have a way that I could still do something that I love in the kitchen, but that I was creating healthier recipes for me and my family. And all of us health coach post 2 or 3 recipes every single week on our Facebook pages. If you're not on Facebook, just ask your coach and they can help you out there. So now my revamped, I used to have literally like a 4-inch recipe book. It's all revamped. It's got about 100 healthy lean and green recipes in it. And I traded out some of the family favorites with, zoodles, cauliflower rice, spaghetti squash. But each week I look at our family calendar and kind of just make a plan, who's got what going on this week. Because if you fail to plan, you will plan to fail, right? We've always got to have a plan. So my challenge to you in this aspect is to try a new recipe every single week. Maybe it's a hit, maybe it's a miss. If you love it, stick it in your recipe book and keep it there for the long run. This is a super important micro habit of health, right? Creating a new recipe book so that we can stay on this healthier path. Okay, the last thing is learning and growing. And I hope I don't sound like a broken record, but of the 3 pillars, healthy body, healthy mind, and healthy finances in Optavia, my biggest area of growth, and I know a lot of people feel this way, is in personal development or the mindset piece. As a chiropractor, I was kind of in a bubble, and I just took care of my patients, and I told them what to do, and that was my role. As a health coach, I had to learn how to ask questions, lots of questions. I had to become a better listener. I had to help people find what they wanted and help them get what they wanted. It wasn't about me. So I had to change and improve myself in order to better serve my clients. So if you're not learning, you're not growing. My last challenge is to work on yourself. So pick an area in your life that you would like to improve. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe you want to train for a marathon. I don't, but maybe you do. Maybe you want to learn more about photography. Maybe you want to learn how to take care, more self-care things, take better care of yourself. Maybe you want to learn how to raise chickens. I don't know, whatever it is. I can guarantee you there's a podcast, there's an Audible book, there's a book, and a lot of it is just free, and it's out there on the internet. If you Google it, you can find it. So like I said, lots of amazing podcasts. Some of my favorites are, did you know, first of all, Tony Robbins has a free podcast anybody can listen to. So you could be coached by Tony Robbins. I think that's pretty cool. Rachel Hollis has an amazing podcast called Rise. And another favorite of mine is the Life Coach podcast by Brooke Castillo. So, and then if you're a reader, that's amazing. I know a lot of busy moms have trouble, having time to read. So when I'm in the car, I can just throw on a podcast. And, when I'm dropping off, picking up, waiting for, all of those times, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you can listen to a podcast and learn. So always be learning. Most of the top income producers that I listen to and follow read 4 to 5 books a month. So again, always constantly learning. So if you've got an area you want to work on, reach out to your coach and he or she would be happy to help you. So I hope that helps you all on your journey. And we want you all to be the best version of yourselves. So thank you. And now I'm going to bring on my friend, Lisa Bristow. She has been super fun to coach, and I just want to thank her for coming on and telling her story. Go ahead, Lisa.
Awesome. Thanks, Christiane. I'm not one that I needed to lose like 100 pounds. I just needed to feel better, and I was going to be 50. I just turned 50 on Saturday. And so I just needed to get a grip on myself, and I was just indulging in kind of everything I wanted to. And so when I met Christiane, I kind of had an epiphany of like, I'm going to do this. And I didn't even necessarily know what the whole program was, but I just jumped in. So when I jumped in, it was what I love about this program one, the first 3 days were horrible because you felt so bad, but then after that you start feeling amazing. And then it's so easy. So I love the fact that it was so easy, and it's just it's simple if you don't get all wrapped up in the taste of some of the stuff. But the other part of it is I felt like my mindset, and I'm trying to go so fast because I only have 2 minutes. So my mindset was the hugest piece to all of this. So I've lost weight. I've lost 15 pounds or 20 pounds or whatever, and I've gained it back. But this time was different because it was the mindset piece that Christiane and I kept working on, and she kept encouraging me and doing the podcast and doing like that's the thing. That's the whole thing, is the mindset. It's not even the food. It doesn't even matter the food. It's just how you think about what you're putting in your body. And one of my biggest things was alcohol. Like I like to drink my 1 or 2 glasses of wine every night. And I thought I couldn't change that. And I will tell you, like, that's been the biggest epiphany of all, is the drinking piece of just changing how I think about myself. And I like feel amazing. I like really do feel amazing. Christiane was with me on my birthday. I feel like amazing. And I did not think that I would feel like this at 50. And I feel so in control of what I'm doing. And I feel so empowered by what I'm doing. I feel like there's a lot of things I could just overcome because I've taken charge of this place in my life. I've been overweight my entire life. Like I've always been there. So it's pretty huge for me to get to this place. And I really think it's all because of the mindset piece of what Optavia does. Absolutely 100%. That's all. Am I down to my 2 minutes?
Awesome. Thank you, Lisa.
Okay.
Great job. We appreciate you.
All right. Thank you, Lisa. That was really good. That was great. So next, we'll bring up my keys for success. One thing that you will hear, you heard Coach Christiane talk about it, and I'm assuming Coach Jesse's going to be talking about it too, but for a lot of us, personal development is a big deal. So you will hear a couple common themes that we're, learning about ourselves throughout this process. But for me specifically, I've been coaching for 6 years now. And the last 6 years, I have grown the most personally than I ever have in my entire life. These last six years, I've had so much more personal development. And obviously, I'm learning about coaching. I'm learning about helping people. But I'm learning about myself. I'm learning about where I am and where I need to go and what my goals are. And that personal development that I have gone through, that's been the biggest piece of my health transformation as well. So a lot of the things that I have to share with you tonight are going to be related to personal development because it's huge. It's a big piece in moving forward. So my first one is embrace the lifestyle. What this means is we can lose weight 1,000 different ways. I mean, there's so many fad diets out there. We can lose weight. Most of them are kind of unhealthy and kind of crazy approaches, but you really can lose weight a bunch of different ways. But if we're losing weight through crash diets, even if we look at the Optavia plan as a diet, we can lose some weight just by doing the fuelings, but we're not embracing the lifestyle that Optavia provides. Optavia is more than just the fuelings. We're more than just a food plan. We really are a healthy lifestyle. And the idea here is that we're learning about ourselves when we're learning what a healthy lifestyle looks like. So the weight loss phase is just the first piece, but all the habits that we're learning, we need to move forward with those too. So instead of having the mindset of, I'm just doing this temporarily, I can't have all my junk right now, but I'm going to have it when I reach my goal. Well, then we're going to gain the weight back and then we're not changing anything. So our habits aren't changing. But if we're in this program and we're really thinking, okay, what am I going to take forward? I'm going to take forward drinking all my water and working on my healthy sleep and working on stress management and eating small, frequent meals, focusing on lean ingredients. Okay, all these little habits that we're learning, this is a bigger piece of creating a healthy lifestyle. So there's so many components to this program. You're going to hear, the 4 pillars of the program we're going to talk about a little bit later. But the food piece is just a quarter of our program. We really have so much more to offer to really make this a lifestyle change for you. So embrace this as a lifestyle. Embrace this as, I want to be healthy. I want to live a long, healthy life, which means I'm going to create some new healthy habits along the way. So that's my first one. My second key is, who am I now and who do I want to be? Okay, so again, personal development, kind of taking into consideration where I'm at now. Okay, this doesn't have to be a negative thing, but where am I now in terms of my health? in terms of my family, in terms of finances, career, whatever it is, my house, whatever it is for me, where am I now and where do I want to be? What do I want my health to look like? What do I want my finances to look like? My relationships, whatever it is, if we get a picture of where we're at now versus what we want to create in our lives, then we can create some structural tension between the two. Once we can create that structural tension, we can really see where I'm at now versus where I want to be. We can create some steps to get there. And the number one thing that we need to be able to get from where we're at now to where we want to be is personal development. And the reason why, I don't know if you've heard the saying, a comfort zone is never a growth zone, and a growth zone is never a comfort zone. Because if we're comfortable where we're at now, we're not challenging ourselves, we're not pushing ourselves, we're not uncomfortable. But if we can get uncomfortable, and if we can push ourselves, if we can challenge ourselves, we can grow. So that means personal development. So read a book. There's so many amazing books out there. Listen to podcasts. Watch webinars. We have a lot of great material through Optavia. We have a book and a workbook. We have all this great stuff, a lot of podcasts, but there's so many other great resources out there. So find something that resonates with you. It can be mindset. It can be dealing with past issues. It can be creating a positive outlook. I mean, whatever is important to you, whatever speaks to you, find somebody you resonate with and really start diving into the personal development. And then my third one is planning with intention. And I really like this one because I am a planner. I'm very type A. I like to be organized. I like spreadsheets. I like lists. So planning with intention, what this means is that we make lists. So we can make maybe daily to-do lists. We can make weekly to-do lists, even monthly to-do lists. Okay, so we can kind of keep track of our progress along the way. And I recommend that in the morning when you get up, you make a list. This is what I want to accomplish today. But planning with intention, the intention piece means that we do it from a positive mindset. So if we wake up in the morning and we're like, oh, I hate where I'm at. I don't want to be here. I hate this job. Okay, I have to get this done and this done. How far do you think we're actually going to get when we have that negativity that's driving us? We don't get very far. But if instead we wake up and we start with gratitude, and we start with being thankful. I'm so thankful that I'm this far along in my journey. I'm so thankful that I'm growing my business like this. I'm so thankful for, X, Y, and Z. This is where I'm at now. Then we can start with intention. We can start with being thankful and being grateful for where we're at. And that positive motivation is going to help us. I'm really excited for where I'm at, but today I want to accomplish this, this, and this. And this week I want to accomplish this, this, and this. There's just a motivation behind it that's so different when we wake up with that positivity. So planning with intention is really focusing on being positive and creating lists that you want to accomplish for your day, your week, your month, maybe your year, and being intentional. So that's really all I have for you. I know my overall scheme here is really growing, learning about yourself, where you're at, learning about your weaknesses, learning about your strengths, learning about, your own obstacles, learning about where you hold yourself back and getting out of the way. And the only way we can get out of our own way and move forward is personal development, is learning about yourself and moving forward. So those are my 3 things. I do have an amazing story coming up. Gary, I'm really, really excited to bring Gary on. He has been on program for several months now, and he's down 34 pounds so far, and he's still going. Him and his wife are doing program together, and they're doing great. So I'm excited for him to jump on and just share a little bit about his story. So Gary, are you there?
I'm here. Thank you.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Well, yeah, as you can see, back in January, I was much heavier than I'd like to be. I just recently had a new job assignment, a lot of stress involved. Didn't really realize how out of shape I was getting. And as I started looking at myself, I started seeing my dad, who's in very poor health at a very young age. I'm actually both my parents. I started having high blood pressure, which had never been a thing for me. I'd always been an athlete and never had any of those issues, digestive issues, sleep issues, and that kind of thing. So we both decided that we were going to get in much better shape, and kind of looked around and had some friends that were on this program, but it was sort of like joining the Masons. They were very secretive about it and didn't really want to give us a lot of info. So we reached out to Mikaela, and she kind of steered the way for us. But for me, the part of the success goes along with mainly the same pillars you're talking about, but that regimentation for me was a big deal because I have such a busy lifestyle. I needed convenient, I needed consistent, and I didn't have a lot of time for creativity. Although some of the choices weren't my favorite, it was there and ready, and I could go with it. And so it was very consistent. So my journey's gone pretty well as far as consistency, and I'm getting really close to where I want to be. So I'm a little older than the 50, but really what our long-term goals are to be healthy in our retired life. I'm about ready to retire. We both just found out we're going to be grandparents for the first time on Father's Day. Not on Father's Day, but in January. So those are all more motivations for us to really stay healthy in our after working and traveling and recreating and taking care of the kids, grandkids. So, and getting back into the gym, talk about changes in lifestyle. It's not just the nutrition, which is a major piece, but it was a really rewarding piece for me to get back in there. And a lot of the same things that you're coaching with is what my fitness coach says, as far as consistency and having a little bit of pain is a good thing rather than lifting the weight or doing the cardio that I'm comfortable with. So those are all consistent themes in many disciplines, and I appreciate what you guys have brought forward, and we're going to continue to apply it.
I love that. Thank you for sharing, Gary. And I don't know if you mentioned, you did say your blood pressure was a little bit high when you went in, and then when you went back in, what happened to your blood pressure when you went back in just recently?
Yeah, it's back down to way normal range. My resting heart rate is under 60, so everything was going in a positive direction, and digestive issues have gone back to normal. So so far so good.
That's awesome. So you're feeling good and everything's good. Good report from the doctor. So that's really exciting. So thank you so much for sharing with us, Gary. And Coach Jesse, you're up.
Woohoo! It's my turn. All right, everyone can hear me okay. You're going to notice an overriding theme throughout this entire support meeting: personal development. So let's go to my very first top tip: finding out your identity. Your identity, it's who you are. It's the way you think about yourself. It's the way you're viewed by others in the world. It's the characteristics that define who you are. If you have been living as an unhealthy person for any length of time, or if you're a person who responds to certain emotions with eating, that's how you cope, or if you're in a relationship with someone, your spouse, a family member, a friend, and most activities with that person revolve around food, well, that's all a part of your identity. So this is a reason why we struggle so much with reaching health goals. If you're anything like me, then much of who you are is wrapped up in your food choices. So when you make this conscious decision that, hey, I want to get healthy, I recognize that I need to get healthy, and then you start to change, well, you're actually going against your current identity. You need to develop a new identity. This all comes back to personal development. So that's my top tip for you. It's our overriding theme. What's interesting is we as coaches, we did not discuss what our top tips would be. So I actually love this. It might be a little bit repetitive. I'm going to go a little bit deeper with it. You need to grow personally in order to change something that is so ingrained. It's a part of who you are. So I'm just sharing with you what I've been working on myself for the past 2 years. I still have a whole lot of work to do because personal development, it's not just this one-time thing. It's not a quick course you can take. It is a lifelong discipline. It's a lifelong process. And you will assess your skills, your qualities, and you got to make changes where you need to improve so that you can reach your best potential, reach your goals. And personal development doesn't take a lot of time, but it does take consistent action. Reading books, listening to podcasts, I'm going to hit that again because that is what I do daily. And I'm going to name drop some of my favorite books that have really helped me. The first one is The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. If someone wants to stick these in the chat for me, they can. Next one is The Diet Trap Solution by Judith Beck. The Diet Trap Solution is all about how we think about food. That is a great one. I love Goals by Brian Tracy. That's an oldie but a goodie. And The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. For podcasts, I pretty much will listen for anything that Brene Brown has been on. I don't know that she has her own podcast, but she's been a guest on Oprah and other ones like that. Christiane mentioned Rachel Hollis. Great. Her Rise podcast. I listen to that all the time. And then there's another one that I haven't heard anyone mention by Andy Stanley, and it's called Your Move. That is a really good one to start with. And by the way, You being here, right here tonight, listening to this or watching this recording, you're already doing personal development. So congrats, because that's awesome. Just keep working at it. Listen to podcasts, discuss them with those people who are important in your life, and this will all work on your identity. And the time that you would otherwise waste, like driving to work if you've got a commute, or getting ready in the morning, or winding down at night, this is the time where you can listen to a podcast, and just one a day can transform your life. It's free education, and it's amazing. So that's my first tip. Second is accountability through community. Now, this is a good one, and this is what I would call an advanced move, okay? What's one of the best ways that you can ensure that you're going to do something and do it for life? Think about that. Well, the pursuit of health, and it is a pursuit, it's something we continually have to work on and work toward. One of my best tips is to go all in and become a health coach, just like I did, and help other people do what you're doing. Your decision to become healthy and stay healthy will be that much more solidified when you're coaching others and living the lifestyle. And it doesn't mean that you're going to have perfect health or an overnight beach body, okay? But what it does mean is you will be continually learning and growing with us, and you've got a whole lot more people in your corner when you become a coach. So maybe talk to the person who invited you to this tonight, or your own health coach, and set up a time to explore what coaching would look like for you, and it might be a good fit. And then lastly, my third and final tip, don't hide. Everyone struggles. Sometimes when we're struggling, we tend to hide. There's a lot of reasons for this. It might be that you feel ashamed. It might be that you fear being judged, or you're disappointed in yourself. For whatever the reason is, one thing we as coaches want you to know is that we understand. We are human. We're human, and we're here for you. We're not here to judge, and we will always offer support. The thing is, we need to learn to be honest, to be real with ourselves and with others about who we are, what we want, and what we need to reach our goals. Being open like this, it really empowers you. It enables you to find what needs to change. There's no place for growth in a hiding mindset. So reach out, because our healthy tribe absolutely cares about you. All right, so that's it for my top 3 tips. And what I'm going to go into next is someone from our own health tribe. We got one more story to share with you. She's my friend. She's a fellow dental hygienist. She's made incredible changes in her health. So I asked her to come on and share her story with us tonight. She also followed my second tip. She recently became a health coach. So Holly Brown, I've unmuted you. Why don't you go ahead and share your story with us?
Okay, I'm Holly Brown, and I've been on this journey now since October 1st, and I don't remember a time in my life when my weight wasn't a concern, starting from a very young age. My first diet that I can remember was in grammar school, when I was sent to school with plain tuna for lunch. And then as a teenager, I started Weight Watchers for the first time. I've tried many fad diets, and I've had limited success. Like I think Mikaela said, you can lose weight with anything, but I've always gained the weight back plus more. Last fall was a really low point for me. I was just feeling hopeless. Like didn't feel like I would ever get rid of these pounds. And thankfully, I decided to contact Jessie, a friend. I knew she had been doing health coaching, and I'd been thinking about contacting her for several months. But with her guidance and her support, I'm down 60 pounds. My energy has increased. I feel better than I've felt in a long time. My swollen ankles are no longer. And I recently had my lab work done at my doctor's office, and my cholesterol had dropped 65 points, which I think is pretty amazing. And when I step on the scale now, I see a number that I haven't seen in 27 years, since before I got pregnant with my first child. And I'm actually happy it's summertime. Instead of dreading the lighter clothes and the outdoor activities, I'm excited. I always used to love summer, and I feel like I'm loving it again. And I also have 3 children. They're young adults, and they're very active, and I'm looking forward to maybe joining them on some of their adventures, instead of just hearing about it and putting it off until I lose weight. And I am still on my journey. I have more weight to lose, but for the first time, I feel like this is actually doable. This is actually achievable, instead of I was feeling like it was impossible and I was just going to have to learn to live with it. And also, in addition to losing weight, I'm learning to change my mindset and my relationship with food, which is a big thing. And I think that's going to be one of the things that makes this the last time I lose these pounds. And I'm loving this program. I love the convenience. I love the structure. That's what I need to succeed. I need structure. I wish I'd found it 20 years ago when at one point I was considering gastric bypass, but then I chickened out on that. But I wish I had found this then. And I've decided to become a health coach, and I hope I can reach others and open some doors for them so they can see that there is a light at the end of the tunnel and there is support out there. And I really love what the health coaches were putting out there today. I could identify with everything they were saying. And I am a person who tends to hide. So joining in the community has been like the best thing I've done. So that's my story. I hope I didn't go over my time allotment.
No, that was great. Thank you for sharing, Holly. And I think we all wish we'd found it 20 years ago. That was awesome. I really appreciate that. What a great share. So now there's some people on the call tonight who are not actually clients. So we're just real briefly, Coach Christiane and Mikaela are going to go over the 4 pillars of Optavia.
Okay, first of all, as you've heard that we've been talking about, you get the support of a free health coach. And your health coach is there just to walk alongside you, to support you, to encourage you, to send you podcasts, to find out what you want and support you on your journey. So that's, in my opinion, the health coach is the most important thing, or one of the second most important thing. Okay, go ahead, Mikaela.
I think these are all really important. They're a quarter of the program each. So another very important piece is Dr. A's Habits of Health. This is the education piece behind the program. So we have a book and a workbook that are fantastic. You can work through them at your own pace. But we also have weekly webinars. You can listen to past recordings. You can listen to them as podcasts. But you learn about yourself, your body, your mindset. There's a lot of personal development here too. And this is a really big piece. This is how we're learning how to create a healthy lifestyle for life.
Okay, and the third piece, which is another favorite of mine, is our community. So right here, we're a health community. We're all gathered together. We're learning, we're growing, we're getting better. We're working on mastering our craft. Like Mikaela said, we do this monthly. We might take July off though, because we all have convention. We do monthly or every other month events in Reading, in Chico. Mikaela does them up in Washington. That's part of the community. And then the Wednesday night Habits of Health calls, if you get on live, you're in the community. So join in. I mean, it's amazing. And we support each other and we all feel like we're better together.
And we also have our Facebook groups. So a lot of community. Yeah. Okay, and then the last piece is our personalized nutrition plans. So we usually start with doing a 30-minute free health assessment. So if you aren't part of Optavia, that's where we would start. We ask lots of questions. Where are you at now? What are you looking to achieve? What does your daily routine look like? We ask a lot of questions to kind of figure out what would be the best plan for you. And then we customize a plan. We find the best plan that'd be a good fit for you, and we jump in. So the first piece, though, is a free health assessment. So if you haven't done one yet, reach out to the person who invited you and get connected. And we'd love to do a health assessment with you. So those are the 4 pieces of the program. We're really glad you guys jumped on today. Coach Jessie, did you want to add anything to that?
No, that's it. I love it. We are going to skip July for our monthly support, but we'll be back with Back to School in August. And stay on, because our sponsor, Cauliflower Foods, has some amazing giveaways for us. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. Thank you for joining us. Share the recording if you're watching it later on, and join us live next time.